My name is Nano Nomaru, and I'm a 30-year-old clerical worker. Today, I'd like to talk to you about an incident that happened between me, my troubled sister, and our mother. My older sister, Kusumi, is 3 years older than me, and she has always been the street-smart type. She knows exactly what to say in every situation and tells people what they want to hear. This is especially true when Kusumi talks to her mother, and because of that, Mom has always said this about Kusumi. "You're always so thoughtful, Kusumi, and you're so kind." She always compliments Kusumi for her acute ability to sense what people want. But to tell you the truth, I was the one taking care of things around the house for my mother, who's not that great at getting chores done. When I was in college, I even took care of our family's finances and other clerical work that needed to be done. Having a father to help me out would have been great. But he left this note and some money and disappeared from our lives when I was in my senior year of high school. The reason I started taking care of finances around the house was because my mom and sister were intending on spending all the money Dad had left us as if they had on the lottery. Don't come any closer! Dad left this money to pay for expenses in the future.
Don't be so uptight. I'm graduating in a year, so there's no reason to keep all that money locked up.
You might be graduating, but I'm only starting college next year.
Just get a student loan or something.
Says the person who made their parents pay for a college in the middle of nowhere and spend every single day going out. Oh, I wonder why you've grown up to be so petty. It's all thanks to you, Mom. The two would not shut up about the money. But I managed to secure enough of it for myself to pay for college and other general expenses. But I had to hand the rest of the money to Kusumi and Mom, as they insisted on keeping track of it by themselves. So I handed them the $30K that was left over. I'm not sure where exactly the money went, but I did notice both of them buying expensive branded clothing and going on vacations around the country. So I'm sure all of it is gone by now.
I'll make sure to take care of you, Mom.
Oh, that makes me feel so much better about the future. Thanks, Kusumi. That's what Kusumi would tell my mom whenever she ran low on cash, so she could squeeze some out of Mom. But that went on for years, so I was convinced that Kusumi would be the one to take care of Mom when she got older. But I should have known that Kusumi wouldn't keep her word. Rather than getting a job after graduating college, my sister just worked part-time at one of her friends' restaurants to earn just enough cash to go out every weekend. She barely comes home during the week and spends most nights at either her boyfriend's place or some friend's place. While that went on, I was the one left to pay for everything.
You still have some of that money you got from Dad left over, right? Then you can pitch in to pay our expenses.
My mom, who was basically broke by then, was completely on board with my sister's BS. When my mom's back got worse, she gave up doing chores altogether. I also had to deal with my sister, who came home every now and then just to leave some clothes for me to wash. But eventually, I got used to all of that. And after a while, I graduated college and got a job. But one day...
Nano, I've got big news!
What's up?
I'm getting married!
Congratulations! What's the lucky groom like?
He's very handsome.
Well, I'm happy for you.
So, I'm thinking about leaving the house.
Wait, really?
My husband is the oldest child in his family, and we gotta live with his parents at his place eventually. But until then, we decided to get our own place.
Wait. What's gonna happen to Mom?
Well, you're gonna have to take care of her.
But that's not what you said. You always told Mom that you take care of her when things came to that. And you got money from her every time you told her that. And just the other day, you told me that I had to pay for expenses and all that because you were gonna have to pay for everything in the future. And that's why I worked my ass off in college. And even now, I work on weekends to make ends meet.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. My husband's the oldest child. You had to understand.
No, I can't. We should talk this over with Mom.
I've already told Mom.
Really? I'm guessing she said no, right? I don't want to admit it, but Mom likes you better than me, so...
She didn't take it lightly. But she said if it was for a marriage, she was all right with it. She'll settle with you, apparently.
What?
I'll show up from time to time, so don't worry. Anyway, I'm gonna be moving out today, so I won't see you for a while.
You're moving out today?
Yep, take good care of Mom for me. All right, bye!
Kusumi? Kusumi! And after that, my sister wouldn't answer any of my calls or return my text. But what was worse than my sister leaving us was the fact that my mother said that she'd settle with me to take care of her. I've been sacrificing everything to make ends meet for her family, but after all that, I guess Mom prefers Kusumi over me because she tells her what she wants to hear. Am I that unpleasant of a person to live with? I've worked so hard to take care of Mom up until now. But she's not ever willing to give me credit for that. But it was around then that I met my current husband, Masayoshi. Masayoshi was the first and only person I ever opened up about my family to. I was sure that he would be weirded out by all of it, but...
I'm sorry all of that happened to you, but you should give yourself some credit. You kept on looking after your mom through all of that.
Do you think I'm a petty person for thinking that I've been treated like crap?
No way. But I don't think your mom meant to hurt you. I think she just relies on you because you're so good at getting things done.
Me? Getting things done?
You should let off some steam every once in a while.
You really think so?
I'm sure both your sister and mom will eventually understand how valuable you have been to the family.
Yeah, thanks. It didn't take long for us to get married after that. Masayoshi even suggested moving into my mom's place out of worry for her health. Are you sure about this?
If we help each other out with chores, I'm sure things will be more manageable for you. Besides, it doesn't hurt to have a man in the house, right?
Well, that all sounds amazing, but are you sure?
Of course I am. And Nano, remember? We promised, in sickness and in health.
I felt so glad to have married this man. My mom was totally on board as well. Finally, I can lay back and relax. But you've never done the chores around the house to begin with. But anyway, we three started our new life together under one roof. Turns out my husband is patient enough to listen to my mom tell the same story for the third time. And my mom opened up to her son-in-law in no time. But that was when things made a dramatic change. Unexpectedly, my mom started cooking and taking care of the laundry for my husband. We have to make sure we get everything before Masayoshi comes back. He must be tired after working all day.
And making me do all the chores was fine?
Is what I wanted to say, but more than anything, I was happy that my mom was finally taking care of things around the house. And that went on for about 5 years. We had our first baby, and now all 4 of us were living happily under the same roof. That was when we decided to remodel the house, as it was starting to show its age. We made sure everything would be accessible for my mom, whose back was worsening year by year, and went through with a major remodeling of the house. My mom seemed to be happy with the way things turned out, and everything felt organized and comfortable. But that was when she came back to destroy the peaceful life that we had made for ourselves. Everything started to go wrong when my sister came to visit me. I wasn't planning on telling her about it, but my mom wanted to brag about the remodeling job to my sister, so she invited Kusumi to come and visit the house. At that point, my mother was already getting her monthly pensions from the government, so she was over the moon about having the money she could freely spend.
Wow, this is so nice!
Right? Masayoshi's friend got everything done for dirt cheap, so we used the money left over to buy the best appliances. Take this for example. All I have to do is press this button and it makes stew for us. And it tastes amazing too.
Wait, since when do you cook?
I've been trying my best to get things done recently.
Really?
Really. After taking a long and thorough look around the house, my sister stood still for a bit and looked like she was thinking about something. I've got a bad feeling about this.
Hey, Nano.
What?
How are you planning on taking care of Mom in the future? Are you going to put her in a retirement home?
I've given it some thought already. But her back is not great as is, so... If it gets any worse, I think being in a retirement home would be better for her.
Right.
How about you? Have you moved in with the in-laws already?
Not yet.
Huh, okay. Hey, stop jumping on the sofa!
Oh, give her a break. She's just a kid.
She could hurt herself, and the sofa will get damaged too.
I see Nano hasn't changed one bit, right, Mom?
Absolutely. Can't she just let a kid be a kid?
Hey, why don't we play together over here?
Oh, Masayoshi, thoughtful as always. It was obvious that Kusumi was still my mom's favorite child, but this was all going to be over in a few hours, so I just have to hang in there for a little while longer, is what I thought, until my sister texted me a few days later.
Hey, Nano! Thanks for showing us around the other day. My husband and her daughter love the place.
I'm glad to hear that.
Anyway, after you showed us around, we decided on something as a family.
And what's that?
I'll take care of her mom from now on.
What?
Am I not being clear enough? We're gonna move into the house. That place is absolutely perfect. It looks as good as new. It has a room for my daughter, the appliances are all brand new, and the list goes on.
Are you kidding me? You told me you were going to move in your in-laws soon. And you didn't keep your word about taking care of Mom because of that. That's why Masayoshi and I were looking after Mom. And we spent over $200,000 on the repair work because we were convinced that we would have to keep on living there for the foreseeable future.
Right, so I'll take your place and take care of Mom for us.
That's nonsense. What happened to living with your in-laws?
Oh yeah, about that. Apparently, my husband's older sister is going to be looking after them, so there's no need for us to move in with them.
Then just don't move in anywhere.
But how does that make sense? I'm the oldest child. I should be the one to look after Mom.
Oh, for crying out loud. You just want to live in the house because it's all brand new now.
This should be a good deal for you. I'm gonna take care of Mom from now on, so it's a win-win situation.
Oh, stop being so selfish. And besides, it's not even something we can just decide between us.
I've already told Mom about it.
What?
Mom was really pissed when I told her about how you were planning on sending her off to a retirement home.
I was only thinking about what's best for Mom, and it's not like the decision has been made already.
Well, she said she prefers to live with us, so better start packing, Nano.
Soon after, my mom came home as furious as had ever seen her. Mom! You asshole! Get out of my house, now! I don't know what you heard from Kusumi, but I'm only thinking about what's best for you. You're going to put me in a retirement home, aren't you? Leave me in a ditch instead. It's not like that's any worse. You're not listening to me. Hear me out. I knew Kusumi was a better child all along. Now get out of my house. Even Masayoshi couldn't change my mom's mind, and she insisted on us leaving. She wouldn't stop, so we left the house and got a hotel room for the night. I showed Masayoshi the text messages I had gotten from Kusumi and explained everything to him. Even Masayoshi couldn't contain his anger this time around.
Nano, you've already had to deal with this for too long. I bet you can't even count the number of times your sister has treated you like this. Your sister and your mom, they've crossed a line. If they want the house, they can have it.
But we spent so much money on it. We still have a loan to pay back for the remodeling too.
Who said we would give it to them for free?
So you have a plan?
Yup, justice always prevails, Nano.
And so my husband got to work immediately. He's too fast, I can't keep up. Then 2 weeks later,
Nano, what's going on? What do you mean you're selling the house?
it's exactly what it sounds like. It's our property, so we're free to do with it as we please.
Have you forgotten that we still live here? Besides, this is Mom's place. You can't sell it without her permission.
That's not Mom's property anymore.
What?
When we remodeled the place, she handed the ownership of the house to us to avoid having to pay all the taxes. And needless to say, we had Mom's consent.
Wait, so you're saying that this house has been yours this whole time?
Yep, so we're putting it out for sale. You can buy it from us if you want, you know, for $200,000.
You know we don't have that kind of money.
Okay, I guess it'll just go up for sale then. The location is pretty good, and it's been remodeled recently, so I'm sure we can get a good price for it.
Then where are we supposed to go?
Why don't you rent a condo or something?
What about Mom?
Obviously, she's gonna come with you. You said you were gonna look after her.
Oh, you better quit playing with me. I only came here because you said Mom was taking care of some of the chores. But after you left, she's been glued to the sofa and doesn't move a muscle during the day.
She was looking after the house for Masayoshi, not for the house. So no wonder she ended up like that.
You should have told us beforehand. This whole thing is a big scam.
You thought you could get away with this, huh? After you lived your life the way you wanted up until now. Well, think again, and we're not willing to bargain with you. Buy the house from us or leave the house right now. It's your choice.
You greedy bastard!
You guys taught me to be this way, so I gotta give you credit for that.
Just give me a minute. I'm gonna go talk this over with my husband and Mom.
Sure, but do be quick, yeah? I'm gonna start charging you rent if you take too long. Let's say $700 a month.
That's too expensive, idiot!
Apparently, my sister talked to her husband about buying the place from us, but her husband reminded her angrily that the reason they moved into the house in the first place was because they didn't have that kind of money. They then turned to Mom and hoped that she would have that kind of money stored away somewhere, but they should have known that Mom wasn't the kind of person to make a savings account. And so they were out of options. They did go to the bank to see if they could take out a loan, but because my sister's husband had been in and out of job for the past few years, and because he had quit his most recent job when he moved into the house, there was no way they could take one out. Out of options, my sister used her mom and her deteriorating health to convince us to not sell the house, but my husband was having none of it.
You were the one who tried to ditch her first, remember? Nano has done enough already. You've got to let her go.
And so it was settled. The house went out for sale. The furniture and appliances in the house made their way to her new apartment. But my sister and mom were crying when they were being carried out. They thought they were going to get everything for free, which is obviously was not going to happen under my watch. Soon after getting kicked out, my sister and her family moved into a crappy apartment. But when my mom tried to move a box full of stuff in it, her back went pop! And so my mom could barely move after that, and my sister now had 3 people to look after. She barely had any time to sleep.
Nano, help!
Wait, who are you calling Kusumi? It better not be the retirement home. You said you were gonna look after her, so good luck.
I can't anymore, please!
Hand me the phone right now! Apparently, at that point, Mom's mental health was on the brink of collapse. But there's no use sympathizing with them. This is the outcome that they chose. Right now, we're living happily in a house that we bought after moving out of our old apartment. Thanks for everything, Masayoshi.
Don't mention it.
And we lived happily ever after. Or at least I hope. I'm free!